this conversation. Let's talk. SA to the governor on new media. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Until the very last day, we will still say congratulations to you.
I agree with you.
I'm wondering how you made it there. I'm wondering what you did. I'm wondering what kind of young person you've been, but I'll leave that question to another day. But right now, what's new in government for the people of Akwa Ibom State?
That's a multi-barreled question. But government is moving. The wheels of government are...
Government is slow, but very effective.
No, government is fast-paced. It depends on which lane you are, because if you're on the pedestrian lane and not following what things are going on, things could appear quite very slow for you. But development is taking place in multifaceted areas and sectors. In fact, indeed, all sectors of the economy. And so His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel is doing quite so much to make life better and meaningful for our people across all sectors. I mean, from road infrastructure, there's massive work ongoing in several places. And you know, sometimes this gets interjected by the seasons that we are in. Work may get slowed down during the rainy days, but as the sunshine kicks in, you know, work pushes further, because we're in a developing economy, and there is no way we can stop building roads.
What stops government, while we're talking about roads, what stops government from mobilizing contractors to get on the road when we have sunshine, when the rain is not falling? Why do they have to wait and then give us this excuse that the rains are falling before they get back into site to work?
You are not going to get a dualized road project done within 3-6 months, because there are so many procedures you have to get. First,
we don't have sunshine only for 3 hours.
But then you have to pay compensations. That is not seasonal. It's something you have to do at any time you wish to start.
Allocations come timely.
And then you don't have all the money at the same time, and that's where financial engineering comes to play. And you have several projects.
But we have a financial consultant as governor.
No, that is why
it should be easy to project.
And that's why he's able to manage the quantum of these projects. And there are so many road projects completed and ongoing, over 100 of them.
What would be wrong with government attending to Calabar to road and the run leading to my village?
Yeah, because that's a federal road, and the federal government...
And the money can be refunded, like the 78 billion naira is refunded.
Well, we're not going to controversial issues now concerning figures that... But I can absolutely answer that. I can absolutely answer that. You see, government, we're staying on projects. Government is executing projects.
Roads.
And it takes, roads, we're talking about roads. And there are certain things that you need to do. You have to do excavation, you have to do soil test, you have to fill, you have to compact. Before you lay the red earth, you lay the stone base and the rest of the things till the asphalting and the markings on these roads. And these things,
that's why we voted
yes, and these things take some time. And then you don't have all the money, because we're dependent highly on our federal allocation, and then our internal revenue is doing absolutely well, but that is not enough. Even if we were to shut down every other thing and do only roads, the monthly allocation will not carry these projects. I mean, if you're going to Ikoroku Junction, you would find massive work ongoing. A lot of the piling has gone very far for the flyover, for the overhead bridge that's going to take place there, which is absolutely necessary for that area. Notice most of our people were losing their lives for nothing because of the activities of heavy vehicles. I'm coming to that. We're talking about financial engineering. You see, you have to do all of this and still pay salaries. You have to do all of this, and the roads still need to be swept. The street lights still need to go on. You know, farmers still need to get...
Do we even have street lights?
No, we do. We do.
How many streets can boast of that?
No, hold on, we do. And we power them with generators.
But with the solar system, what stopped us from using
because our people keep vandalizing them and leaving government
then
with very little...
Blame people. Government is supposed to provide security for
But government cannot stand... Who is government? Government cannot stand at every electric pole. There are hundreds of them, if not thousands, across the entire state.
The government can empower the police officers to protect these.
The police officers are not, even if their only job was to protect electricity poles, we don't have them enough in such number. And so it calls for citizenship responsibility. And so we make things more difficult for ourselves, because we are government. I mean, It's just a few people who are selected to actually act on behalf of the people. These critical installations belong to the people. Okay, that's just electric pole. What about transformers? I mean, what about transformers?
And last 1 year that lost about 100
and several. And you can imagine some of the people who are involved. Sometimes some of our people, our leaders, collaborate with sometimes foreigners to get these things picked up. It's pure greed. It's pure greed.
Or people are hungry and there are no jobs.
No, it's pure greed. It's pure greed to digging up those cables, digging up those cables that should service those transformers, draining the oils. It's just a product of pure greed. I mean, putting the entire people into darkness and then allowing those things on. So the government is doing so much in critical road development. Is doing so much in agriculture. And then we talk about attracting industries, because these industries don't just, blossom from outer space. Sometimes you need to go after the investors and come convince them to, show them the things that they've already created on the ground. And, of course, on security and the rest of the other things. That's why we're able to have the succession of industries that are coming in to establish. And then healthcare, which is, of course, very key. Most of our secondary health facilities were already in a state of comatose. At Tinan General Hospital, where I come from, I mean, snakes were living next door, living side to side with nurses and patients. Ikona General Hospital, Aribiakunto, but the rest of them. But today, all of that has been reconstructed and major equipments brought in to service those hospitals and to also ensure that our people take advantage, because medical services are still free for children and the elderly. But sometimes not everybody knows and takes advantage of all of these. No, we are sensitizing, but we also need to change our culture.
What's wrong with our culture?
It's an orientation thing. Like, for instance, take childbirth. There are people till tomorrow who still prefer traditional birth attendants who charge more than government hospitals. I mean, it means it's not about money.
So
it's about the orientation. They just feel that is where it ought to be done. And so,
but governments can legalize the activities of these traditional birth attendants for those who
you cannot legalize illiteracy. You cannot legalize the absence of training.
Okay.
It's not a case of law of legality. It's a case of competence. I mean, when you have complications in a traditional birth attendant, who is a surgeon? Okay. That will, get you more blood and the rest of the things that are done there. And so what they do is that when they have been messed up, when people have been messed up at those places, they now rush to the hospitals and then complicate things when it ought to have already been taking place.
So you are saying that you love the state, you're proud of the things that we have. You've even mentioned a couple of them. That's impressive. So I'm wondering, do you think with the amount of money we receive as allocation as the highest states that receive, the state that receives the highest allocation, you think we have enough infrastructure to show for all that we receive?
We have more than infrastructure. Resources are scarce, and ranking them on high and low may not be reflective of the realities that are on the ground.
Of the 6 million people that live in the states, how many do you think live above the poverty line?
It's beyond the 6 million Akwa Ibom people that's on record. Nigeria operates as a federation, and there are no boundaries on our borders. People don't have visas to come in here. And so we also have an influx.
So what did we close?
We have an influx of people who are coming into Akwa Ibom State. If they are not enjoying the current good roads, they are enjoying security. If they are not enjoying security, they are enjoying improved power supply in many places.
Improved power supply.
Yes,
in 3 days.
In several places. In several places, probably to change where you live, and and all of that. But to be quite serious and frank, you see, a whole lot is ongoing. A whole lot is ongoing in critical infrastructure.
These industries that we keep speaking of, I understand that what the government does is provide an enabling environment, which is land and security, which is just making the state safe, So I'm wondering, this monies that we keep receiving, other than paying salaries, does it just end?
Have you seen the 21-story artificial intelligent office building?
I've seen it. How much does it cost to build that?
It costs much money. And it's massive. And you can imagine the prospects that lie there. If by the time we're able to finish all that, and then the companies that also occupy those places come. You see, you need to put some of these critical infrastructures in place to attract the level of investment you're looking at. If you get those multinational companies to come and operate, we've been clamoring for some of these companies to relocate to Akwa Ibom State. And we've all, that has all been wishful thinking. But now government has decided to take action to satisfy some of their demands, which one, of course, is an office building. And you see, the state makes money in return.
Akwa Ibom people would stand
employment.
To gain
they stand to gain employment.
From the multinational?
Yes, they also stand to gain...
How many people can be employed in
No, it's about the value chain.
Okay.
Those guys are going to have people who do laundry services for them, and so dry cleaners benefit. Aren't they going to be involved in one form of transportation or the other?
Will there be
transporters,
for engineers? Will there be
transporters benefit?
Journalists?
I mean, there would be more adverts for radio and TV stations. I mean, more people will go there and seek sponsorship. Yes. You know, for programs. There's a lot for broadcasters. There is a lot for hoteliers.
All the monies
there is a lot.
All the monies that we generate cannot just go into building the 21-story.
Hold on. This is a lifetime investment. These are the benefits of that place will continue even in 100 years. Okay. By then, we must have recovered the entire sum that was sunk in there. And when I mean we, I mean people.
Have you seen the budget?
Not as a government. A budget is a wish list. A budget can be anything. A budget is just a list of aspirations. But what is the reality is how much money you now get per month.
How do you think the government will balance the budget? What it is wishing for and exactly what we generate?
That's where financial intelligence comes in. For instance, they say the budget is 400 billion, and if you get only 10 billion at the end of the day, that's what you would spend. And so what you need to is that you've articulated to the State House of Assembly what you would love based on certain parameters you think will come in, all things being equal. What if the prices of oil crash? What if the rest of the things?
Words of advice to Akwa Ibom people. I remember we've had to have this conversation on AKBC TV, and one of the things that I asked you that was very close to my heart is how can Akwa Ibom people benefit from whatever government is doing today? I mean, social media has been one place that's like a full market, a stream with so many things inside it. People bashing governments, the other people appreciating. It's a little confusing. So you're in government. You also live with the people. You live with us. Tell me, with the things you've seen, what do you think I am as an individual, every other person out there can do to benefit from this government?
I think what we can do is to position ourselves to take advantage of government policies. For instance, now we're talking about the Ibom Deep Seaport. We're talking about the Ibom Industrial City. What are the skills that those industries...
Mind sharing what skills they would need?
That is why everybody should key in and begin to find out. There is no boundaries to it. You can even create the skills that do not currently exist within the industry. Software developers should be thinking, what do porters need? What do they need in that industry? Softwares that will help them manage where this cargo goes and all that and that, transactions, financial engagements. There are a whole lot, even for information technology people, for people who are into real construction. There is going to be one or two construction here and there. For people who are into logistics development, there is going to be a job for here and there. For importers and exporters, there is so much there. For people who are engaged in wholesale and retail, there is so much. And so you begin to wonder, how can I take advantage of that port? Even if it means you going to visiting other ports and finding out the different openings, because this is more of a private sector driven approach. There are no slots for employment. And so most of these employments are going to be, based on the principles of demand and supply within that industry. And so you have to keep, look at, for instance, the government said it was going to float an airplane company, Ibom Air. Where are the pilots? I mean, where are the hostesses?
Have you heard that most of the people employed in Ibom Air are not Akwa Ibom people?
No, you cannot say most. I get on those flights and I see Akwa Ibom people. there. It's a mix. You know, the essence.
That's not true. That most people.
No, that's not true. I can tell you for sure it's not true.
My problem is, at this point, you should give statistics. This is the number of people from Akwa Ibom working in Ibom Air, and these are the number of people.
Every company provides its own analysis and results after a time frame. Hold on. It's completely owned by the Akwa Ibom State government and independently managed. You don't give financial statements on a daily basis. You give financial statements in periods. After a period, Ibom will say, okay, this is what we've done. This is how much has come in. This is how much has been spent. And as usual, those audited accounts are usually published in national dailies. And that's how it runs. And so you don't expect every week. Ibom says we've carried 5 people and we made 2 naira and 5 naira. So it's something that comes within a period of time and all of that. But at the moment, you can see that the business is moving. Okay. You can see that the airplanes are being filled with passengers and they are keeping to their targets and making returns. So
what you're saying is that Akwa Ibom people should position themselves?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We should position ourselves. That's the essence of the Dakada spirit.
But my question right now would be, how do we get these skills when our technical schools, our vocational education centers are not properly equipped to, you know, to grow the skills that we need to function in these places? Is College of Education Affairs good enough? Once the Polytechnic Ikorosura good enough?
Absolutely.
Is the technical schools we have in the state providing the kind of students that can fit into each of these industries?
In fact, that's why recently the Akwa Ibom State government organized an education summit to reposition.
What is the outcome of the summit so far?
Because it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. You recalibrate even our teachers who were not all employed within the time limits of this administration. And so government is working with the resources it has at its own disposal. And so there is a need for a mind shift from time to time. Once your passion is right to develop yourself, you would do. Everything doesn't have to be done via government sponsorship and all of that. But you just need to know that I need to key into this. Okay, for instance, you take sports. Government does the school sports festival to discover young kids who are in primary and secondary schools. It provides the enabling environment. And so far, we've had so many of our athletes who are doing well at national and international competitions. That's the essence of government. Do the basic framework and allow the individuals who have that passion to go through. If you expect government to now force everybody, they say we're going to open Ibom Deep Sea Port. Okay, we now force 300 people into areas they may not be interested in. You know so it begins from the individual conviction that this is what I want to do. This is where I think I can function in. Government has created that massive pool. It's like a wealth. All you need to do is tap into it.
Last thing we heard, it was 70% completion.
And while the project is ongoing, you train yourself so that by the time it comes to fruition, you are qualified to absolutely apply. So while you're waiting, you are not waiting in vain. You are waiting in training and acquiring skills. If it doesn't happen there, I mean, Nigeria is big. There are 36 states and several towns and cities. If you can't make it here, nothing stops you from making it in any other part of the world. So I think that's the essence of governance, in providing those enabling environments. Look through governance across the world. Government does not build everything, employ everybody. Even if we're running a communist socialist system of government, I mean, everything plays through the demands of the marketplace. Government gives enabling environment, road, light, education, health facilities, attract these industries, help develop critical areas like air transportation, like sea transportation with the Deep Sea Port project, like land transportation and the rest. Okay, look at the OPay technology that has come to play. Government didn't need to control that. Look at the creative thinking of one person and see how convenient it is to engage in local transportation within the town.
I'm wanting to ask someone in government this question. I'm so happy that you're here. Is it really true that the government is going to spend 7 billion naira to build an ecumenical center?
I don't know where that information...
It's in the budget. It was in the budget. It was spoken about.
It means that it's a wish. I told you that the budget is actually a wish, and that is an estimation. Someone said, okay, this is going to be done through donations, but there's going to be surveying.
But you do remember that the ecumenical center was supposed to build from donations.
That is what I am saying. And there are various ways to source for funds. When government gives a budget, it's saying that this is what is going to be spent. It means that
the state's funds.
Not necessarily from every available fund. whether it is going to be from internally generated revenue, whether it will be from donations, whether it will be from the state allocations that accrue from the federation account, whatever it is, we're just saying that we're going to be transparent, and this is how much we think we would spend from whatever means we're able to generate this money. Because this money is not just sitting...
Public-spirited individuals...
Yes, can still contribute. We're just saying that this project, we think, would cost this much.
Okay.
And since it is a worthy project, we don't have all the money to do it, people can still donate to ensure that this is speedily done, because government does not have all the money when you consider the quantum of... So when something is budgeted for, there are several other ways of now practically raising these funds.
We should trust that, especially because our governor is a financial expert. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Your parting shots.
Parting shots to Akwa Ibom people, let's embrace peace. Let's be peaceable. Let's also be very vigilant, because a few bad eggs within our midst can actually give us, all of us, a bad name. So let's continue to support government. This government is passionate about delivering goals, and you can see some of the results. Look at the ease of flying. 3 flights daily. You can go to Lagos and come back the same day. It didn't used to be so. A one-day trip used to be 3 days. You go one day, sleep, do whatever you're doing on the second day, and the third day...
I'm going to ask you,
and
how
the
many
third
people
day
you are benefiting from the Ibom Air thingy?
No, you cannot quantify it. The number of... now, people conveniently fly into Akwa Ibom State to get to rivers.
How many people can afford that?
There is no way they land in Uyo and go through...
6 million people.
No, hold
How
on.
many people
There is no way, as I
land
land in Akwa Ibom Airport and see banana on the road before going to Port Harcourt.
We'll all become banana sellers.
No, it means that something has dropped. So everybody gets to benefit. But if there was nothing to even attract people to start, I mean, that's how to grow the economy. There's no way you pass through Akwa Ibom that something, we don't attract something before you move on.
Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely good to be here.
Enjoy your day. And see you when we come for recording again.
We'll come again. Thank you, Akwa Ibom people. Thank you, Nigerians. And have a great day.
Okay, guys.